I think it's safe to say that Pam Bondi has now taken over Carolyn Leavitt's role as like the most arrogant and sure of herself person in the Trump administration as a result of the hearing that she did in the Senate yesterday. She came prepared for war, not to like answer questions, not to like, advance the cause of justice, for instance, with Jeffrey Epstein. She's just prepared to not answer any questions and to turn everything around on those damn Democrats that expect her to actually serve the American people. Let's give you an example of how that works on the topic of Epstein, starting with this.
You pushed the FBI to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records on an arbitrarily short deadline in March, and the FBI was directed to flag any documents that mentioned President Trump.
Senator Durbin, I find it very interesting that you refused repeated Republican requests to release the Epstein flight logs in 2023 and 2024. You fought that. Did you take money from Reid Hoffman, campaign donations, who was a huge Epstein friend? Why did you fight for years? Why did you fight to not disclose the flight logs, Senator Durbin?
I can tell you I did not refuse. One of the senators here wished to produce those logs, and I asked her to put it in writing, and she never did. So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. You won't do it today, but eventually you will.
I love her like confidently, I'm not gonna answer anything about Epstein. He should have responded, yeah, no, I didn't really expect that you wanted to. It's a cover up. You're gonna continue covering it up. The thing is, when he asks you a question like, did you flag records that involve Trump? And she says, I'm not gonna answer that. Well, the potential answers were yes or no. If it was no, and you weren't asked to flag those, then wouldn't you say that? Like if you had an answer that makes you and Trump look totally cool, and you could say that under oath and not potentially perjure yourself, wouldn't you say that? And since you're not saying that, is it unreasonable of me to imagine that it's because the other answer is the one that's true? Like you could answer these questions. She thinks that all of these are really cool rhetorical tricks. She's like, didn't you take money from Reid Hoffman, a guy who also knew Epstein? He was a friend of Epstein. Your boss was a friend of Epstein. Why are you telling me something like secondhand about a guy that donated to Dick Durbin? I don't get, Trump was his buddy. Are you concerned about friends or not? Why are you like, why didn't you release those flight logs 2 years ago? When you say that, you're posturing as if you care more than him, but you're not releasing things now. If you really want to demonstrate that you care about transparency, don't do it with a quippy little remark to Dick Durbin. Do it by releasing the goddamn Epstein files, which we know you're not actually going to do. Let's go to just a little bit more of a responses to some of the questions again on that topic.
Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files. And I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, excuse me, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list.
There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with half-naked young women. Do you know if the FBI found those photographs in their search of Jeffrey Epstein's safe or premises or otherwise? Have you seen any such thing?
Senator Whitehouse, you sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump left and right, when you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe, I could be wrong, correct me, Reid Hoffman.
Yeah, you could be wrong, but the issue is that even if you're right, what does that have to do with the Epstein files? Let's say that he did. Let's say that he took the money from Reid Hoffman, and let's say that Reid Hoffman knew Epstein. Okay, then Dick Durbin is still less connected to Epstein than Donald Trump is. If any, I mean, you're as connected, then you get a job from Donald Trump, who is friends with Epstein. Again, even if you're right, that doesn't have anything to do with the topic. You can say that it's salacious claims, but it is also a question of fact. Were those photographs in these files? Did Epstein have all these photos of Trump with half-naked women? If, by the way, you haven't seen that, then just say that. And then say, no, they don't exist. It's just a salacious claim from you. But did she say that? Did she say, I've reviewed the files and there's none of those photos? No. So again, we're left imagining that with how defensive she's being, the only explanation is that she does not want to reveal that. Now, look, if you're new to American politics, maybe you think that this is how the head of the DOJ always acts, but I'm here to tell you that it is not. They are supposed to be at least semi-independent. They're supposed to be a law enforcement officer. She was acting as if she was just like a character witness for Donald Trump. And that's not how it's supposed to work, Sharon. What do you think?
The only reason this kind of thing is familiar to me is because I watched The Real Housewives of Miami, and this is how Larsa Pippen and Lisa argue. It's about deflection. Deflect, deflect, deflect. This was pathetic. She's the Attorney General, right? I mean, this is pathetic. Answer the question. And honestly, Dick Durbin usually puts me to sleep with that, like, monotone thing. But I thought it was played just right. Like, we see what's going on with you. Answer the question. Oh, you're not? Okay. One day you will answer for your conduct. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
She's not even worth it. It's just an exercise to get her on the record. Let's just get her on the record for future proceedings, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, it's potentially getting her, on perjury, but again, she's not saying literally anything, so I guess she's not perjuring herself. But she has all these opportunities to clear his name. If this stuff isn't true, she's not doing that. It implies that it's because it's true. I just want to end with this. This is an indictment of the Republican Party. Let's go to this poll, graphic 1. Now, overall, people absolutely despise the way that the Trump administration is handling. It's only 20% of national adults think that they're handling the Epstein files well. But that said, 45% of Republicans think they are. Far more than think they're handling it poorly. This is what they're seeing. They're seeing stuff like Pam Bondi. They're seeing stuff like Donald Trump say, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's that? I haven't heard that name in a long time. And 45% of Republicans are like, bang up job, heck of a job, Brownie, on the Epstein files. Absolutely insane. If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?